In this video, I'm going to show you how to use ModuleScripts to level up your Roblox development skills and save you time. Stick around because by the end you'll be scripting like a pro. A ModuleScripts is a special type of script in Roblox and it allows you to reuse code across multiple scripts. So instead of just copying and pasting the same code everywhere, you're going to put it in a module script and you can just call it wherever you need it. Let's take a look at an example. So we can come over here to Script Service. And down here you'll get the option of ModuleScript. And you can see by default, it names it ModuleScript, it provides a variable called module, and it just sets it to an empty table. And it returns this module. So you can consider the ModuleScript to be simply a table, but a table where you can add functions and variables. I'm not going to add anything to this module script. I want us to first look at a script that doesn't use the module script, and then we'll convert that into a module script. So over here, I've got a drooling zombie, and I've added a script in here. I'll just quickly run through it so you know what it's doing. We get the enemy, which is the zombie. We set a speed of 10. Then down here, we'll create an infinite loop where we call move to player every 2 seconds. Inside move to player, we get the first player on the server, and then if that target is not nil, we're going to call move to on the enemy, and then it'll move to the position of my character. If we think about what this is doing, it's moving the player, and the other part of it is it's starting the process of the zombie constantly moving towards the player. So if we come over here and look at our module, let me just collapse this. I'll give this a better name. This is something that we need to be descriptive. It can be anything you want to call it, and I'm going to call it enemy AI. So I've got our empty table here, and all we have to do to add functions to this, we can call function enemy AI, and we said we want to start our zombie, if I can spell. Now I can come over to our script, copy this while loop, and put it in here. But you can see this is asking for a move to player function. So if we come back here, take our move to player function, which we've got here, and then we can put this at the top. Now I want you to notice two things here. Firstly, move to player is slightly different style of function to what we've got for start, because start has been attached to the enemy AI table. So what's happening here is saying we've got a table and we've got a function called start on it, which means anyone requiring this module script, which I'll show you how to do in a second, can access start, but this function is not attached to that table, so they can't. Now, to make sure that this move to player doesn't interfere with any other scripts, we'll mark this as local. So this is now essentially like a private method which nothing else can get access to. But we've also got this enemy, and in our previous script, it just took access to the enemy from the top of the script. But we can't do that here. So what we need to do is we need to require this as a variable. Notice our orange underline has gone away. But that means when we call move to player, we need to pass in the enemy here, which means we've got to require the enemy as a parameter. And it'd also be nice to make this script a little bit more flexible. So what we can do is we can do time to wait, and we can take this time to wait, and instead of saying it'll always wait for 2 seconds, we can pass that in here. So now whoever calls this script, they'll pass in the enemy and they'll say how long they want it to wait in between each iteration of this loop. Now the thing about module scripts is they don't just run like a standard script. I mentioned earlier you need to require them. So let's come in here and we'll get rid of all of this because our module script's now doing this. And what we're going to say is we're going to call local and we'll call it enemy script. And then what we need to do here is require this. And the way we require it is we call the server script service. then we call ModuleScript. And the reason we're calling ModuleScript is because that's its name. It's not because that's the type of script. So if I change it here to call it enemy AI, then up here we're looking for enemy AI. But now we've got access to everything that's attached to this table that exists in this module script. So what I can do with this is I can call enemy script.start, and previously we called script.parent to get the enemy, and then we passed in the number 2 for time to wait. So now if I run that, we'll see our zombie turn around, he comes running after us, he waits for 2 seconds, and then he runs after us again. Now previously, if I duplicate this zombie a bunch of times, and we play, all 5 zombies are now running after me, but I've not duplicated my code. Each one of these zombies is calling this code, so if there's a bug in it, it can be fixed in one place and it's fixed everywhere. What you've done by watching this is achieve the first stage of what you need to start using OOP in Roblox. If you want to find more of what you can do with these module scripts and understand how meta tables work with them to be able to make classes and then ultimately create objects, feel free to check out my video here. I'm Tony from Humpop Gaming. I'll see you in the next one.